Hi, everyone. Thank you especially to the Notre Dame Young Alumni Club for putting this weekend together. I'm humbled by this nomination and to be a part of this group. Thank you also to my parents who are here today. They've followed me and supported me from Western Samoa to Ethiopia, now to Notre Dame, and I'm really grateful to have them. We're asked to speak about our personal journey and highlight the diversity of our experiences to celebrate the twists and turns of life. I started writing this speech on a ferry in Istanbul 5 days ago, which is ironic because 24 years ago in Istanbul was where I consider my journey to have really started. The late Anthony Bourdain speaks of the profound moment when we fall in love with the world. Istanbul was mine. 24 years ago, my parents and I were traveling to Kazakhstan to adopt my little brother, Sasha. We had a 3-day layover in Istanbul. I remember my 6-year-old self just having this awakening and being completely amazed by Hagia Sophia and just amazed by how many different people in the world all, treasured the same things that we did, faith and community. As for context, in the 3 years prior to this trip, my parents and I suffered the loss of my brother Cooper and my grandmother. So by the time we were in Istanbul, we really knew what mattered most in life, which was, faith, community, and family. Now I'm in Istanbul again, 24 years later, writing these remarks for the Domer Dozen, reflecting on the twists and turns in life as I sit next to my boyfriend, who is the very reason I've returned to Istanbul. I'll get to that later, but first let's recap the last 24 years. I attended the same all-girls Catholic school for 14 years. The nuns who fed me kid cuisines and after-school care while my parents worked were the same nuns that taught me the fight song and the same nuns that came to tailgate with me my freshman year, which made me feel very cool. It was always my dream to go to Notre Dame, and thanks to the support of my village, I was eventually recruited and given a scholarship for rowing. Being a monogrammed athlete at Notre Dame was an honor and took another level of discipline and fortitude. To be honest, I was never the fastest on the team or smartest in the classroom in those poli-sci classes. I was actually the shortest on the rowing team at Notre Dame, and I was a B student. But my senior year, I received a compliment from our head coach, Coach Stone, that I still carry with me today. He told me, DeHaven, you aren't the fastest, but you have the most heart. I like to think this summarizes who I am as a person. In rowing, I developed this mindset where as long as I gave it my absolute all and left everything on the water, I knew I'd be happy with myself. This is the same mindset that gets me through my work day to day. During my last race at Notre Dame, I stroked the second varsity 8 and at the NCAA championship, and we made a school record. After Notre Dame, I went on to join the Peace Corps as an English literacy teacher instead of attending law school, which completely shocked my parents. This was a total curveball. Peace Corps was extremely rewarding, but very challenging. I lived on a rural island in Western Samoa, which is in the South Pacific. It was a difficult time. But the fortitude, courage, and teamwork I developed at Notre Dame allowed me to thrive under these difficult conditions. I finally came to appreciate the 6 a.m. practices in the snow, and I'm from Florida, so in the snow is a big deal, on the St. Joe's River. They prepared me for a project when, as a village, we were installing water tanks to make sure the kids would have running water when school got back reopened after a cyclone. After Peace Corps, I moved to New Zealand, which is obviously amazing, and I was a head rowing coach there. It was the perfect buffer time between Peace Corps and graduate school. That's where I realized I'm happiest when I'm helping others reach their full potential. I attended graduate school at Georgetown University at the School of Foreign Service, studying global human development. The university provided a fully funded summer internship to anywhere we wanted to work in the world. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do until I met my now boss, Shani Simbeta. She came to speak to my class about social entrepreneurship. I really didn't know what last mile distribution was or anything about Ethiopia, but I just felt very inspired and knew that this was something special. So my summer internship with Karame Mart turned into my thesis capstone. I absolutely fell in love with this country. The people, Karame Mart, everything. Ethiopia is one of the fastest growing economies in the world and has an exploding youth population. So there really is endless potential, and I just really wanted to be a part of the growth. A lot of people consider it the last frontier of markets. I graduated but kept working for the same venture capital firm I spent my graduate school internship with in DC until we could fundraise my salary at Kiersten. Around this time, 2 years ago, I finally moved back to Ethiopia, and I took my new degree and my work experiences from Peace Corps to venture capital and became senior project manager at Kiersten. So, Kiersten's mission is to give opportunity for women to live better lives. We recruit rural women and provide trainings on financial literacy, business acumen, confidence, and we sell high-impact products like soap, solar lamps, water filters, fortified foods to these women so then they can resell these products in their community at an 18% margin. So basically, we're the Avon ladies minus the pink Cadillacs of Ethiopia. Our women are living on less than $2 a day. They're often single mothers. They're usually illiterate. When I started with Kiersten, we had 300 women in one region. Now we have 3,000 women across 10 regions, servicing 1.5 million customers. I've grown to become COO. We now have 112 employees and 88% are women. And I'm the only foreigner at the company. Our biggest partner is Unilever, but we work with a range of partners from USAID to Catholic Relief Services. As you may know from reading the news, Ethiopia has been torn apart by war. The war in Tigray has impacted both my professional and my personal life. Professionally, Tigray has always been the region with our highest selling women. This is one of them. When the war broke out in November 2020, 6 of my employees and 100 of my women disappeared overnight. With telecom shut down, we still have not been able to contact them. All we can do is continue to pray for their safety and be ready to help them rebuild their lives when we can get back in touch. Personally, my boyfriend is Tigrayan and is a notable photojournalist in Ethiopia. He has had to flee Ethiopia to Turkey for safety concerns, and this is what brought me back to Istanbul. As I sit here and write this speech on the ferry, I reflect on the twists and turns in life. All I know is that faith and community, the pillars of Notre Dame, have carried me through. I continue to work in Ethiopia, and our company continues to thrive despite these adverse conditions. In addition, we were recently able to disperse emergency food aid in Tigray for Catholic Relief Services. Funnily enough, Catholic Relief Services gave us an advance payment for the products because I went to Notre Dame and they recognized my monogram ring, and then they tested me and I was able to label the last 3 popes. These products fed over 6,000 refugees for 3 months. I was told that we were able to deliver the products at the least expensive and fastest rate they had ever experienced. The fortitude and discipline Notre Dame helped me develop with an appreciation for community and faith are what gets me through the good and the bad. Thanks to Notre Dame, I built a foundation that continues to support me today. I pray the war ends soon so we can relocate our women, so my boyfriend can come home, so Ethiopia can have peace. But until then, I know I can do my small part in fighting the good fight. By creating jobs for rural, vulnerable women and distributing high-impact products to these communities, Kiersten's work is improving livelihoods, thus supporting more economically productive and peaceful communities. I am thankful for my family, my friends, Notre Dame, especially the rowing team, and the Notre Dame Young Alumni Association for its continued support. Thank you so much.